There were controversies yesterday over the alleged resignation of the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, and the national secretary, Iyola Umishuri. The duo have resigned from their positions ahead of today's National Working Committee meeting of the party, allegedly on the orders of President Bola Tinubu. The resignation will be formally announced today at the NWC meeting. This might have deepened the internal crisis plaguing the APC, as the fate of the duo will be further sealed at the National Executive Committee meeting scheduled to hold on July 19, where their resignation will be accepted and during which a midterm elective convention of the party will be proposed to fill current vacancies. Joining us now on the morning show from our Abuja studio is Honorable Bernard Mikko, former governorship aspirant under the flagship of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in Rivers State. Good morning, Honorable Bernard Mikko, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much, and good morning, Nigerians. Ruben, good morning.
Good morning. Well, obviously, there is crisis within your party, as some people have interpreted the sudden resignation of the chairman of the party and the secretary of the party, the national secretary. And what we're told is that, what has been alleged is that the chairman of the party is guilty of many sins. Do you have an idea what those sins are, possibly?
Yes, Ruben, you know, good morning.
Good morning.
You know, there is no crisis. First of all, there is no crisis in our party, the APC. The second one is that his resignation should not come as a surprise. It's even belated. You know how a leader emerges will determine how he's going to lead his people. In politics, you align the policies and programs of government or the ruling party to public orientation. This chairman has shown from the beginning his preferences, other than the preferences of the stakeholders of the party. From the beginning, he has shown that he is not a Democrat in the spirit of party politics. As chairman of the party, having emerged as the national chairman, he should have shown neutrality from the beginning, but he never showed it. He came up trying to build a consensus around his own preferred candidate, which didn't win. What is expected at that point was for him to have thrown his towel and said, look, I prefer someone else, but the person didn't win. But he worked against the emergence of Senator Bola Tinubu when Tinubu emerged as the preferred candidate. He also worked against his candidature as a candidate of the party. Now the man, our president, has won, and he has no choice because he doesn't even believe in the capacity of the capability of the party and even the president to lead the country. I think what he should have done immediately after the inauguration of the president, he should have thrown in his towel. It's good development. It will even foster party unity than ever before. There are speculations about his loyalty, about where the party is going to go. Party is about winning elections, and the party is being put on the stronger front to win elections.
All right.
For me, the party is going to come out stronger. There is no crisis. And the party would have done even much more better than what it did in the National Assembly elections if he had shown good faith, behind our presidential candidate. That the National Assembly elections came first before other elections. And he lost his own senatorial district. We would have much better. Like in Rivers State and in Delta, where he imposed people, of course we lost. And he aligned himself with some of his cronies, both in the Senate and outside the National Assembly. And the result is obvious for Nigerians to see, is disdain, for people, for the presidential candidate of his party. I think he should be a statesman, as he has done. I didn't expect that he should be coerced, into resigning from his position. Look at in Rivers State, where he showed his preference, he lost. In Delta State, where it was also obvious that he aligned with a particular and imposed a governorship candidate, we also lost. These are states which we would have originally won, you know. Okay. But I'm happy, majority of party holders, they are very happy that he has gone for good.
All right, Honorable Mikko, thank you. So beyond these, what you've said in terms of his aligning with a particular candidate, opposing the current president, is also allegations of misappropriation of funds. I'd like you to speak to this in terms of, I mean, there have been accusations of the way that he's spent money without following due process since NEC hadn't met in a while. There had been accusations around him leading quite heavy-handed. So a litany of accusations is what has been said beyond just his not working quite well with the president. How true are these, and how well has he run or been chair of the APC thus far?
Well, the only way you can attest to that is there are two ways. Either you subject the party's account to audit, which has not been done. It will be done when they have NEC meeting. The second other way to attest to that again is to look at the reports from the party mechanisms itself. The National Secretary of the party has written a letter, that has been made public, that the running of the party, particularly about the finances, has been very opaque and not transparent, to the extent that nobody knows what is happening. The party hardly calls meetings and all that. So if the secretary of the party has raised an alarm about how the party has been run under him, I think it's obvious that the finances of the party has been mismanaged. And to that extent, he knows the rules. He was governor before. He has been in the Senate. He knows the oversight functions of members, not only the members of NWC or NEC, but the party supporters. The supporting staff in the secretary, they know how the party is being run. They know how the finances of the party is being frittered away for no just cause. I think if that allegation has been made against him, he knows. I think the party can now go out and do a proper audit of the finances of the party. And of course, the laws are very clear. The agencies, party has an internal mechanism of recovery. And we shouldn't let party leaders who have done this kind of thing, this kind of misfeasance, to get away scot-free, so that they don't just come and loot and go away. Let it be called back, even after he has gone, to account for what he has done. He was facing, as governor, when he left as governor, he was facing cases in the EFCC. I don't know whether those cases have been withdrawn or have been forgiven, but he has shown his true color, that he cannot manage public finances at all.
So you talked about Adamu's sins in Rivers. Is it because you did not emerge being the governorship candidate? That's why you said after what he did in Rivers, he failed. You also two questions.
Because we lost.
No, just wait a minute. Just wait a minute. Is it also, you said what he did in Delta, his sins in Delta. But a lot of people will argue that that was the Deputy Senate President that had the gravitas to be your candidate in Delta. And these two cases you are talking about and you're claiming, we lost, are still in tribunal. So we don't know the outcome. The election process is not over yet. So is it because you did not emerge in Rivers? And are you saying that a result of sour grapes? Or because Tonyeko got it? Is that why you are saying this? And also tell us his sins in Delta. The two questions, sir.
Well, let me start with Rivers. It was clear that from the beginning, he was going to impose his preferred candidate in Rivers. The signs were there. We tried to approach him to be neutral. He refused. In Delta, he did the same thing. And he carried this same thing to the presidential election. He has always shown his preferences of building consensus, around his preferred candidates. So for us to have lost in these two states, we might win in the tribunal, but I'm talking specifically about the general elections for which we have lost in both Delta and Rivers states. And of course, stakeholders raised alarm in these two states. about the processes that threw up both Toye Cole and Omo Agege. And you can see the results right there, from the outcome of the elections in the 2 states. So what else? What other proof do you have that he didn't perform, or is not a performing national chairman? Okay, look at his own state. His senatorial district, he also lost. So what do you expect? And of course, the national secretary of the party have raised these alarms, not only about his performances, but even about his finances, which I was talking about before there was a break in transmission. And he has shown he has resigned. So for us, we shouldn't be going back to Egypt. Let us move forward and rebuild our party and see how we can go from there. His records in public service is clear. And we don't want to come. We want to be strictly on party affairs. When a party loses election, it is because of the actions or inactions of the leadership of the party. The stakeholders and members of the party will always align to what their leaders say. But looking at the rules, looking at the regulations of party mechanism, I think he has been found wanting in most of the areas. Areas that we have, that the party has won in other states is because of personal effort and the resilience of party members. Otherwise, we would have generally lost. Because, of course, it's not what we are going to... he has shown, from the beginning that he's not a team player at all. Well, and that is why we lost.
Let me play the devil's advocate. You recall that Senator Adamu himself addressed a press conference the other day, and he said he should not be vilified, that instead what he deserves is praise. That he may not have supported President Tinubu during the party primaries, but that he led the party to victory in the general elections, and that what he deserves is praise. But here you are saying, oh, he didn't work for the candidate during the election. Do you have any proof to that effect? And then you've been talking about Senator Abdullahi Adamu, but Senator Yola Omishore also resigned as National Secretary of the party. So, is he guilty just by association, or just to give a sense of, an impression of balance that the chairman and the secretary have been asked to step down?
Well, Dr. Abati, you remember that the deputy national chairman, North, raised issues against him, even to public domain.
Against
that
who?
He was not
Senator
complying
Omishore
with the rules. Against the national chairman. He said that he wasn't calling meetings, that the activities of the party was opaque, and that the finances were being run at his whims and caprices. So, in that extent, what other proof do you want, to show? You see, this president, I think it was God's willing that he emerged as both the candidate of the party and the president of the country. A lot of forces within the party try to work against him for reasons we don't know. But like they say, man proposes, God disposes. You see? So, for us in the party, who know whom he is and his antecedents, we are not surprised. We expected him to have resigned even before the next meeting. As soon as the president was sworn in on the 29th, we expected him to have thrown his towel the next day. But, well, we are happy that he has done so now. And we commend him, at least for having the courage and not subjecting himself to the scrutiny of the party at today's next meeting. He has saved the party a lot of angst and problems of begin to rally stakeholders to begin to move motions for him. You're wasting the time of the party. It's unnecessary. He's a party man, and he knows what it takes. He knows that the stakeholders are no longer with him. He wasn't with them from the beginning. He was somewhere else, and he has lost. So we are happy. This our president has been ordained by God to lead our people, and we want to focus on the governance. not on the party affairs again. As a father of the party, you should have shown neutrality, but he never did so, Wow. He was busy promoting his own agenda somewhere else.
Well, on that note, we would like to thank you very much, Honorable Bernard Mikko, for joining us on the morning show today.